for pilots being able to carry in the cockpit. He has sponsored and supported Second Amendment legislation. He has an unblemished pro-life record. And Bob and Christine, like Lisa and I, homeschool their children. And that means that, yes, he supports getting the federal government out of education and undelegated power. Now, in general, a legislator doesn't reach their stride until their third term. Bob reached his stride in his second term. Politics is civilized warfare. And that means that you don't just dig in your heels and say no. You have to listen to the competing constituencies, understand what the negotiable and the non-negotiables are, and if there is any common ground. And it means knowing what hills to die on. And as a Marine, Bob knows what hills to die on. Life, liberty, and property. Now, you wouldn't ask a college graduate to head up a major corporation. And I personally wouldn't trust anybody that asked me to start them at the top. Unless they are an extremely rare individual, more rare than 535 out of 300 million, no one should ask you to send them to Congress with no prior legislative experience. If they do, it is a sure sign that they don't know what they're going into. I'm not saying this merely because I support Bob, although I do. This comes out of 10 years of legislative experience. True change takes years, even decades, and it takes opportunity. And that requires the ability to see it and to seize it. Now, if you, like I, believe in liberty, constitutional government, and the sovereignty of New Hampshire, if you believe that all power in government originates in and is derived from the people, and that those in government are their agents and substitutes, then I give you the best man to represent you, the people of the 2nd District of New Hampshire, to stand in your stead in the Congress of the United States of America. I give you the Honorable Bob Giuda.
I want to start by telling you that I had nothing to do with this event. I have an incredible staff of people who had an idea, moved forward with it, and this is what we have here today. My friends, we live in deadly times. And I say that not only because we're engaged in actual warfare 8,000 miles around the world, but because we're engaged in what I believe is an even more dangerous war in our country, in the Congress, and in the White House. We have an administration and a Congress that is rushing at breakneck speed to dismantle the Constitution. In every crisis, when you hear Rahm Emanuel say no crisis should go unwasted, they don't waste them. It wasn't about health care, it was about creating dependency. It isn't about immigration, it's about eroding states' rights. And every issue that they bring up, all of them emotional, all of them capable of making us get a little bit crazy, are designed to deflect our attention from what's really at stake. And that is that Constitution of the United States. And I would argue that second to the Bible, that is the most impressive document ever written in the history of mankind. It, like no other government, provides us with the knowledge and the statement that our rights come from God Almighty, and not from some king, and not from some president, or from some Congress, or from some selectmen, or from some state legislature. Those rights and God's primacy in our country are under attack. And whether or not you choose to believe, you cannot deny the fact that every one of the gentlemen who wrote that Constitution, and it took them 12 years, without exception, made certain to leave a legacy of words that meant and said that a nation that loses its basis in faith does not long remain a nation. Our country was founded on 3 premises. First, self-responsibility. And I tell you that entitlements are the enemy of self-responsibility. Entitlements create dependency. Dependency ultimately produces dependency on government. And people stand like this with their hand out, expecting government to do something for them. That was not the design. The second component was individual freedom. The Ten Amendments, the Bill of Rights, to the Constitution, known as the Bill of Rights. They are designed to protect us from government, but they're under continuing assault from this president and this Congress. And the third was, of course, economic freedom. The more they take of what you make, the less free you are. And so, I commit to you this. I'm not going to Washington to bring you back pork. I'm not your guy. I'm not going to Washington to be popular or to make friends, although I will do what I can to be friendly. I'm going to Washington because our country is in crisis, our liberty is in danger, our Constitution is in tatters, and we need warriors who are going to Washington so that when the leadership and the management of the political bodies stands up and says, "Welcome to Congress. Let's show you how things are done here," I will stand and tell them, "No, you have it wrong. I came to Congress because people sent me to inform you as to how they want business done here." We are running a very vigorous campaign with my friend Rogers and my friend Bill Simpson, who isn't here today, whose grandfather's in very serious shape, so I ask for your prayers for him. I have a team of people of incredible capacity. I have lots of friends across the state from 6 years in the legislature. All of that counts for naught if we're not successful. And so what I want to ask of you is this. I want to ask you to each tag 2 people and talk to them. If you don't talk, we don't win. This is a war for the soul of our country. And when people used to say politics is outside the context of polite conversation, that's the death knell of our freedom. It must be the mainstream of everything we do because we are a nation that is in crisis and our liberties are in danger. I am so honored by your presence here today. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the blonde-haired gal that's been my wife for 29 years, a patient and long-suffering woman who did most of the homeschooling of our kids, who dealt with long periods of my absence because while I was in the house, I was also flying a full schedule. And so I would fly on weekends and I'd be in the legislature during the week. And she took it all on her shoulders and got it all done. We got 3 beautiful grown kids, and I can't say enough about that woman, Christine. Thank you, Chris, for all you've given me. This is a fight for the soul of our country. I need you. I need you to talk to people. I need you to donate if you can. I need you to give your time to hold events in your home, and I will come there. Because we're going to win this war one citizen at a time. And we must win it this fall. Thank you so much for coming. God bless you all.